In the harsh wilderness, the unforgiving snow falls relentlessly, blanketing the world in silent white. A once magnificent gypsy VANNER horse stands alone, its distinctive black and white coat now dulled by frost and neglect. Its famous feathered legs, normally flowing like silk, hang heavy with ice, each breath creating weak clouds in the freezing air. This proud breed, known for its strength and beauty, now trembles in the bitter cold, its flowing mane frozen in tangled ropes. Left alone in the numbing winter, abandoned without hope, it lowers its head in defeat, its spirit seemingly broken by the cruelty of its circumstance. Each labored breath grows weaker, as the falling snow threatens to erase all trace of this majestic creature's existence. But when everything seems lost, a glimmer of humanity emerges through the swirling snow. What follows is a testament to the unbreakable bond between humans and horses. A story of second chances that will restore your faith and compassion. Watch as this magnificent gypsy VANNER transforms from a forgotten soul on the brink of death to a symbol of resilience and hope. Stay with us for a journey that will leave you breathless and inspired, as we witness the extraordinary power of love to heal even the deepest wounds. This is more than just a rescue story. It's a reminder that even in our darkest moments, redemption is possible. The wind howled through the desolate plains, carrying sharp flakes of snow that stung like needles against bare skin. The once pristine white landscape had become a treacherous maze of swirling frost, with visibility reduced to mere feet ahead. Dark clouds loomed overhead, their ominous presence promising more hardship to come. The temperature continued to plummet as evening approached, turning each breath into a visible cloud of desperation. In the midst of this merciless storm stood the lone gypsy VANNER, its distinctive piebald coat barely visible through the thickening blanket of white. The horse, whom locals would later name Luna for her striking black and white markings, was barely a shadow of the majestic breed known for its power and grace. Her trademark feathered legs, typically cascading like flowing waterfalls of silk, were now frozen solid, matted with ice and mud. Chunks of frozen debris clung to the once magnificent feathering, weighing down each step with painful persistence. Each attempted movement sent visible tremors of pain through her emaciated frame, her muscles quivering with the effort to remain standing. Her ribs protruded sharply beneath her dull coat, each one a stark ridge against her skin, telling a story of prolonged neglect and suffering. The once proud crest of her neck, a hallmark of her breed, had withered away, leaving behind a skeletal reminder of her former glory. The magnificent mane that once flowed like a river of silk now hung in frozen tangles, icicles forming at the tips like nature's cruel ornaments. Her eyes, normally bright with the intelligent gleam characteristic of gypsy VANNERs, had grown dull and distant, glazed over with exhaustion and defeat. The proud arch of her neck, once carried with the dignity of her royal breed heritage, now drooped under the weight of abandonment and despair. Hours earlier, a weathered pickup truck had stopped at this remote stretch of land, its rusty frame groaning against the bitter wind. The driver, a man with hollow eyes and calloused hands, had roughly unloaded Luna from a trailer that had seen better days. Its floor was rotted in places, with hay frozen to the surface in patches of neglect. "Another mouth I can't feed," he had muttered, his voice as cold as the biting wind. "Feed prices are through the roof, and you're not worth the trouble anymore." He shoved her toward the snowy expanse, leaving behind a frayed rope around her neck, a final mark of human cruelty. The gypsy VANNER, once valued for her beauty and gentle nature, prized for her ability to pull caravans with grace and strength, had become nothing more than an unwanted burden in someone's ledger. Luna, too weak to resist or follow, could only watch as the tail lights disappeared into the growing storm, their red glow fading like the last embers of hope. The distant howl of wolves echoed across the landscape, a chilling reminder that the bitter cold wasn't the only threat lurking in the shadows. Their cries seemed to grow closer with each passing hour, carried on the wind like promises of doom. As the storm intensified, her legs began to buckle beneath her, trembling with exhaustion and cold. The horse, whose ancestors had pulled the caravans of travelers with pride and strength through the rolling hills of Ireland, sank to the ground in this foreign wilderness. Snow quickly began to pile around her black and white body, threatening to bury her completely. Her long mane, normally a crown of flowing silk, lay frozen against her neck, each strand encased in ice like delicate glass threads. Her breathing grew more labored in the frigid air, each exhale creating small clouds that disappeared quickly into the gathering darkness. The sun, a weak presence behind the thick clouds, was beginning to set, casting an eerie golden glow across the snow-covered landscape. The temperature dropped even further as night approached, and Luna's body shivered uncontrollably against the mounting cold. The GYPSY VANNER breed, known for its resilience and strength, had historically weathered many storms alongside their human companions. These horses, with their distinctive feathering and powerful builds, had been loyal partners to traveling families for generations, their very presence a symbol of prosperity and pride. But here, in this desolate stretch of wilderness, that noble heritage seemed like a distant dream. Luna's current state was a stark betrayal of everything her breed represented: their dignity, their power, and the sacred bond between horse and human. As darkness began to fall, the howling wind carried more than just snow and ice. It carried the weight of betrayal, the ache of abandonment, and the fading echoes of a proud legacy. Luna's breaths grew shallower, her body conserving what little energy remained. The snow continued to fall, nature's shroud slowly covering the magnificent creature who had once embodied the pride of her breed. The darkness crept closer, bringing with it the haunting sounds of predators growing bolder in the gathering night. Time was running out, and with each passing moment, the chances of survival grew dimmer, like the fading light of the winter day. Just as the storm reached its devastating peak, faint headlights pierced through the curtain of swirling snow. A rugged SUV crawled along the treacherous road, its tires fighting for grip on the ice-covered surface. Behind the wheel, Sarah Mitchell, a veteran horse rescuer of 20 years, gripped the steering wheel with white-knuckled determination. She hadn't planned to be out in this weather, but something, call it instinct or divine intervention, had urged her to check the back roads near her sanctuary one last time before the storm made them impassable. Sarah's eyes, trained by years of searching for abandoned horses in the wilderness, caught an unusual shadow through the passenger window. Her heart skipped a beat as she slowed the vehicle, squinting through the frost-covered glass. The shape was too deliberate to be a snowdrift, too large to be debris. When a weak cloud of breath rose from the form, Sarah's breath caught in her throat. "Dear God," she whispered, immediately pulling to a stop and reaching for her emergency kit. The bitter wind cut through her heavy winter coat as she stepped out, her boots crunching in snow that was already knee-deep. The beam of her powerful flashlight revealed a sight that made her veteran heart ache: a GYPSY VANNER, one of the most magnificent horse breeds, reduced to a shivering form half buried in snow. As Sarah approached, her trained eye took in the details: the frozen feathers, the matted mane, the visible ribs, and the telltale rope around the neck that spoke of deliberate abandonment. "Easy there, beautiful," Sarah murmured, her voice barely audible over the howling wind. She approached slowly, knowing that even the gentlest horse could be unpredictable when frightened and suffering. Luna's ears twitched at the sound of a human voice, but she didn't lift her head, either too weak or too defeated to respond. The snow around her had begun to take on a pink tinge where her frozen feathers had cracked and bled, making Sarah's chest tighten with urgency. Time was critical, but rushing could prove fatal. Sarah began working methodically, the way she had done countless times before. First, she draped a thermal emergency blanket over Luna's exposed body, tucking it carefully around the horse's trembling form. Next came the challenge of assessing for immediate injuries through the ice and snow. Sarah's gloved hands moved gently but efficiently, checking legs, joints, and vital signs. Luna's pulse was weak but steady, a fighter's pulse. "You're not giving up on me," Sarah spoke firmly, pulling supplies from her kit. She mixed a warm electrolyte solution in a collapsible bucket, adding a small amount of honey for quick energy. Getting Luna to drink was crucial, but the horse's lips were nearly frozen shut. With practiced patience, Sarah massaged feeling back into them, speaking continuously in low, encouraging tones. The real challenge would be getting Luna into the trailer hitched to Sarah's SUV. The horse was severely weakened, and the frozen feathers around her legs made movement excruciating. Each step would be a battle against pain and exhaustion. Sarah's mind raced through options as she worked to warm Luna's major muscle groups with emergency heat packs. The wolves' howl seemed closer now, adding urgency to an already desperate situation. "We're doing this together," Sarah declared, preparing the portable supports she carried for emergency rescues. She had developed this system herself after years of solo rescues, a combination of straps and mobile supports that could help bear a horse's weight. But first, she would need Luna to trust her, to find that last reserve of strength that GYPSY Vanners were famous for. As Sarah worked, her hands steady despite the cold, she spoke to Luna about the sanctuary that awaited her, about the heated barn with deep straw bedding, the gentle medical care, and the time and space to heal. Whether Luna understood the words didn't matter. It was the unwavering tone of commitment that counted. This was a promise, spoken into the howling wind, that this magnificent creature's suffering was coming to an end. The night grew deeper, the temperature plummeted further, and the wolves' cries echoed closer. But Sarah Mitchell continued her methodical work. She had not lost a rescue yet, and she wasn't about to start now. Not with this gorgeous GYPSY Vanner who, despite everything, still showed the fighting spirit of her proud breed in the steady thrum of her fighter's pulse. The real battle for Luna's survival was just beginning, but at least now she wouldn't have to fight it alone. The first 72 hours at Safe Haven Horse Sanctuary were critical. Luna lay on thick straw bedding in a heated stall, her body temperature dangerously low despite the warm environment. Dr. Maria Torres, the sanctuary's dedicated veterinarian, worked tirelessly through that first night, administering warm fluids and carefully treating the frostbitten areas on Luna's feathered legs. "I've treated many rescue horses," she murmured to Sarah, "but the damage to her feathers, it's like nothing I've seen before." The iconic feathering of Luna's breed, usually flowing and magnificent, had become a painful liability in her abandonment. Ice had formed deep within the thick hair, causing tissue damage that threatened the very feature that made GYPSY Vanners so distinctive. Hour by hour, Sarah and Dr. Torres carefully warmed and treated each leg, using specialized heating pads designed for equine care. Luna remained still through it all, her eyes carrying a mix of pain and something else, a glimmer of trust beginning to form. As word of Luna's rescue spread through the local community, support began pouring in. Farmers brought extra hay and feed, each bundle specially chosen for its nutritional value. A retired horse trainer named Jack, known for his gentle way with traumatized horses, volunteered his time daily. Local children wrote letters and drew pictures, which Sarah hung outside Luna's stall, creating a wall of hope and encouragement. The first major breakthrough came on day 5. Luna, who had barely moved from her bedding, attempted to stand. Her legs trembled violently, weakened muscles struggling to support her weight. Sarah stood nearby, ready to help if needed, but understanding the importance of letting Luna find her own strength. For 10 tense minutes, the GYPSY Vanner fought gravity, her determination visible in every quivering muscle. When she finally stood, there wasn't a dry eye in the barn. But recovery wasn't a straight path. Week 2 brought a devastating setback when infection set in where the frostbite had been worst. Luna's temperature spiked dangerously high, and for 3 terrifying nights, Sarah slept in the barn, monitoring every change in her condition. The local veterinary school sent 2 specialists who worked with Dr. Torres to develop a treatment plan. "She's got the heart of a warrior," one specialist noted, watching Luna fight through the fever. As Luna's physical health gradually improved, the sanctuary staff began the delicate process of rehabilitation. Jack spent hours simply sitting in her stall, reading aloud from old horse training manuals, letting her grow accustomed to human presence without demands. Sarah introduced gentle grooming sessions, starting with just minutes at a time, carefully working through the tangles in Luna's mane and gradually restoring her feathers to their natural glory. The transformation was remarkable to witness. Week by week, Luna's black and white coat regained its shine. Her feathers, though some areas would bear permanent scars, began to grow back in flowing waves. The hollow look in her eyes was replaced by a bright intelligence, and her neck began to curve proudly again. Small victories became cause for celebration. The first time she walked willingly to the barn door, the morning she nickered at Sarah's arrival, the day she accepted a treat from one of the young volunteers. Community support continued to grow. A local tack shop donated a custom-fitted halter, decorated with traditional gypsy styling. A farrier specializing in draft horses provided regular hoof care, crucial for her breed's specific needs. Social media updates about Luna's progress drew attention from gypsy VANNER enthusiasts worldwide, who sent supplies and shared their own stories of hope and healing. 3 months into her recovery, Luna showed another side of her gentle breed's nature. A therapy program for troubled youth visited the sanctuary, and Luna, still in recovery herself, demonstrated an uncanny ability to connect with the children. She would lower her head to their level, standing perfectly still as tiny hands stroked her nose. She remembers what it's like to feel lost, Sarah observed, watching Luna comfort a particularly withdrawn child. And she wants to help others find their way back. As spring approached, Luna's transformation continued to astound everyone who had been part of her journey. The frail, frozen horse from that bitter winter night had become an ambassador of hope. Her story, featured in local news and shared across social media, inspired others to support horse rescue efforts. Donations increased, volunteers signed up, and more importantly, awareness grew about the responsibility of horse ownership and the importance of proper care for these magnificent creatures. Yet perhaps the most beautiful transformation wasn't physical at all. It was the return of Luna's spirit, the gentle, proud nature that gypsy VANNERs were renowned for. She carried herself with newfound dignity, her gaits becoming stronger and more graceful each day. The trust she showed in humans, despite her ordeal, spoke to the forgiving heart that beat beneath her now gleaming coat. In the warm spring sunlight, as her feathers danced in the breeze, Luna had become more than just a rescued horse. She was a living testament to the power of compassion, resilience, and the unbreakable spirit of her noble breed. 1 year after that fateful winter night, Luna stands regally in the sanctuary's main paddock, her feathered legs flowing like silk in the summer breeze. The transformation is nothing short of miraculous. Her black and white coat gleams in the sunlight, each patch a stark contrast that showcases the classic beauty of her breed. The once matted mane now cascades like a silver waterfall down her proudly arched neck, and her eyes sparkle with a gentle wisdom that only those who have overcome great adversity seem to possess. But Luna's transformation extends far beyond her physical appearance. She has become the heart of Safe Haven Horse Sanctuary, taking on a role that no one could have predicted during those desperate first days. Every Tuesday and Thursday, she stands patiently as children from the local special needs program brush her flowing feathers and braid ribbons into her mane. Her gentle demeanor, a hallmark of the gypsy VANNER breed, makes her the perfect therapy horse. She seems to know instinctively which children need extra attention, lowering her head to their level and standing completely still for those who are unsure. The sanctuary itself has evolved around Luna's presence. What started as a small rescue operation has grown into a full-fledged rehabilitation center, with specialized programs focused on both equine recovery and human healing. Sarah has implemented a second chance program, inspired by Luna's journey, which pairs rescued horses with at-risk youth. The results have been remarkable. There's something about Luna's story that resonates with these kids, Sarah explains. Watching as a teenage girl who hasn't spoken in months whispers secrets into Luna's attentive ears. They see their own struggles reflected in her journey and their own potential for healing in her recovery. Local schools now run regular field trips to the sanctuary, where Luna serves as an ambassador for both her breed and the cause of horse rescue. Children learn about the responsibility of horse ownership, the proud heritage of the gypsy VANNER breed, and the importance of compassion. Luna stands regally during these presentations, as if knowing she's representing something larger than herself. Her story has become a powerful teaching tool about resilience, recovery, and the transformative power of love. The sanctuary's volunteer program has tripled in size since Luna's arrival. People drive from neighboring states just to be part of her ongoing story. Many say they were drawn in by the dramatic rescue photos shared on social media, but they stay because of the magic they witness in person. Luna's gentle interactions with visitors, her patient demeanor with new rescue horses, and her obvious bond with Sarah inspire others to commit their time and resources to the cause. Perhaps most remarkably, Luna has become a bridge between the sanctuary and the traditional Gypsy VANNER community. Breeders and enthusiasts regularly visit to admire her recovery and share knowledge about the breed's care. Her story has sparked important discussions about responsible breeding and ownership, leading to improved guidelines and support networks within the community. Several prestigious Gypsy VANNER shows have even added rescue awareness programs to their events, directly inspired by Luna's journey. In the evenings, when the day's activities are done, Luna can often be found standing at the paddock fence, her feathers gently swaying in the breeze as she watches the sunset. Sarah sometimes joins her there, marveling at how far they've come from that desperate night in the snow. The rope burns around Luna's neck have long since healed, leaving only faint scars hidden beneath her flowing mane, a reminder of her past that only serves to make her present more remarkable. Other rescued horses now look to Luna for guidance, drawing comfort from her calm presence as they navigate their own journeys of healing. She seems to have a sixth sense about which new arrivals need extra attention, often positioning herself near their stalls during their first difficult nights. The sanctuary staff have dubbed this the Luna effect, the inexplicable way she helps other horses find their way back to trust and health, just as she once did. As the sun sets over Safe Haven Horse Sanctuary, casting a golden glow across the paddocks, Luna's silver-white feathers catch the light like strands of silk. She stands as a living testament to the incredible journey from darkness to light, from abandonment to purpose. Her story reminds us that even in our darkest moments, hope can arrive unexpectedly, carried on the winds of compassion and determination. This magnificent Gypsy VANNER's transformation from a frozen, desperate creature to a beacon of healing and hope shows us the extraordinary power of second chances. But Luna's story isn't just about one horse's survival. It's about the ripple effect of kindness, how one act of mercy can spread outward, touching countless lives and inspiring others to take action. Every day, countless horses like Luna face uncertain futures, abandoned or neglected, their proud spirits dimming like the setting sun. But together we can be their dawn. We can be the light that breaks through their darkness, the hands that guide them back to health, the hearts that remind them of their worth. If Luna's journey has touched your heart, there are many ways you can help create more success stories like hers. Support your local horse sanctuaries through donations or volunteering. Share this story to raise awareness about horse rescue and the special needs of breeds like the Gypsy VANNER. Learn about responsible horse ownership and speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves. Remember, every great journey begins with a single step, just as Luna's recovery began with one person stopping on a stormy night. You too can be part of these transformative journeys. Subscribe to our channel for more inspiring rescue stories, and join our community of compassionate individuals making a difference in the lives of horses in need. Because in the end, Luna's story teaches us that with love, patience, and dedication, even the coldest winter can bloom into the warmest spring. And perhaps, in saving these magnificent creatures, we also save a part of ourselves. For Luna, and for all the others waiting for their second chance, be the hope they're waiting for.